'Tis the season to be having fun. I used to make these when I was younger. Even though we didn't have a tree, but I used them to decorate my room. They're very easy and fun to make. Something that definitely you can make together as a family. Gather everyone together, take out the paper, and let's begin, my crafty babies. I'm using a very small origami paper. You can use any paper of your choice. Turn the color sides down and fold it into a triangle. Make sure they're even and press down to create a solid crease. Take the same triangle, fold it over to create a second smaller triangle. Open up one of the triangle and flatten it to create a square. Turn it over and be sure to do the same thing to the opposite side. Make sure they all line up evenly in all corners. This is what you should have of 4 corner flaps. Take one of the flaps, open it, and flatten it following the center line. Also known as the center crease, make sure it lines out nicely on the bottom crease. I'm going to show you one more time. You see the top crease and there's the bottom crease. Just make sure it lines up nicely and flatten it. Go ahead, do the same to the rest of the 2 flaps. This is what you should end up with, and you need 2 of them. At this point, I'm using the needle and thread to create the toggle. It is a basic sewing technique. What I did was create a knot at the base of the thread and poke it through one of the paper. I pulled the needle a little bit off to the center, so when I cut it, I can use it to thread the beads. This step is very optional. You don't really have to do it the way how I do it. What I'm trying to do is to create a little dangling toggle at the bottom of the ornament. Simply add 3 beads and square tie the last bead to hold all the beads in place. It's very simple to make. There's 2 strings, so do the same to the other one. Take another needle and thread and poke it through the other paper. This one's gonna be for the hanger. All I did was just add 1 bead to the thread. Trim it off and just create a knot at the top. This might be the hardest part, is connecting the paper together to create the ornament. Make sure you have 4 flaps on each side. One of the paper needs to have the white part showing and the other one doesn't. Kinda a little hard to explain, but you can kinda see it on the video. You want to tuck in those little flaps in between the pockets. Once you had those 2 ready, now you had to examine every single pocket. There are so many different ways that you can do this, but I found that this is the most easiest way to do it. It gives you more control on each section that you're working on. Check to make sure you get every one of them. If you don't have a needle tool like what I'm using, you can always use a toothpick. But if you're making a bigger size, chances are you won't need a toothpick. Gently slide them together and you're finished. They're very fun and easy to make. And when you make a bunch of them and put it on your tree, it will look amazing. Notice how they will twirl in the slightest movement. They're kind of hypnotizing. I used to fall asleep just by looking at them. You don't always have to use them as ornament. You can always use them to decorate your room as well. Very inexpensive, fun, and cute to have around. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and share this little project with your family. Congratulations to the winner, and thank you all for participating. Have a Merry Christmas.